A podcast? Did your radio show get canceled?
Fire. Low down and filthy, but the discipline is on point. Schooled myself, made my own dojo. A cold flow with the whole dose of soul. Maintain composure, even in theory. An anomaly, properties undiscernible to mere peasants.
This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we talk to Nick, who is making some philosophical changes to his financial life. Should he be focusing on debt? Should he be focusing on savings? Let's find out. He joins us now. Hello, Nick.
Hey, how's it going, Pete? How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. No one ever asks how I am. But you know what? I'm doing fine. I went to lunch with my son today, my 5-year-old son. I ate at his lunch table with his buddies. And one of the buddies asked me what my job was. And I told him that I help teach people about money. And he said, that's not a job. And I said, yes, it is. And he said, Ted, who's my son, Ted, your dad doesn't have a job. So that's how my day is gone, Nick. And so thanks for asking.
That sounds like a nice morning.
It was. And I will say this, the kid's name that said that, my son calls him Pom Pom. That's not his real name. My son just gives people's nicknames. It's sort of a weird thing. So Nick, I'm not going to call you Nick anymore on this show today. You're Pom Pom.
All right, that's fair.
Pom Pom, what?
That's actually a funny...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, please. I want you to interject your humor. What do you have?
No, it's funny. So the reason why I chose Nick is because there was a girl in college in one of my classes who, for some reason, thought my name was Nick. And I didn't correct her, and I let it go for way too long. And so for years, my name was Nick whenever she was around. So, sorry.
All right, Pom Pom, what's going on in your financial life? You're 30-something? What are you, 33, 34?
33, yep.
You married? You got kids? What's happening with your life, personal life?
No, not married, single right now, no kids or anything. So,
okay. So your income is...
Just made a big move.
Where'd you move?
I just moved across the country, so from the Northeast to the West.
Ah, the West. Did you run into any tumbleweeds out West, or not really?
No, not really,
okay.
no.
Nick, what's your income? What kind of money are you pulling down?
So right now, since I moved out here, my annual gross income is $82,000.
What do you do, Pom Pom? What do you do for a living?
I work in finance, actually.
Oh, don't feel the pressure now, because now we're going to turn up the heat on Pom Pom. So you're $82,000. What's your take-home pay off of that? Nicole, pull that up, will you? $36.69. So it looks like you're putting quite a bit of money out of your paycheck. Are you putting that in your 401k or something?
Yeah, so I have a 403B, and I'm putting 15% into that.
Okay.
And then I also put $100 a month into a Roth IRA.
Okay. So all told, it looks like you're, from a long-term savings perspective, you've got how much money? You've got $67,743. So that's your 403B and your Roth IRA together.
Yep. Correct.
You got $25,000 in savings. How'd that money get there?
Just over the years, I just for a little while I was putting stuff in there monthly, and then I stopped. But just over the years, kind of accumulating that, and I've just never touched it. So I have never drawn from it. It's always just been accumulating a little bit at a time. So
do you? You're not putting any more money into it right now, though, right?
No. So I've since stopped funding that savings account, and I did that a while ago, and I tried to focus on some other areas. So.
And what are those other areas, Pom Pom?
So one of the areas I think I started to focus on more was paying down some of my debt.
Okay.
And also, trying to increase some of my percentage in terms of investing to, my 401k or 403b.
All right, let me ask you a million more questions. So how long, 2 years ago, what was your income? You're making 82 a year now. What were you making 2 years ago?
65,000.
Okay, and so you haven't increased your lifestyle much, I would assume.
No, not really. The only thing the biggest change since I moved is really my rent.
Okay.
So the housing piece, that significantly increased. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I mean, I'm not doing much that's really increased in terms of lifestyle.
Let's take a look at those debts, Nicole. Let's see what Pom Pom's got. He's got $26,000 in student loans, $7,800 in a car loan. All right, Pom Pom, $26,824. You graduated when you were 22 years old?
Yeah. Yep.
So 11 years later, you still have $26,000 in debt. Help me understand that.
So that's from undergrad and grad school. So I have debt from both.
Okay.
So I'm almost down to just the grad school piece. So.
And then are the grad school rates too? So are you getting stroked on those rates?
I actually consolidated and refinanced.
Okay.
And so my interest rates are better than they were. So now I have a fixed rate of 4.79, I believe.
It's not bad. What's your payment that you're paying a month?
So I pay $500 a month.
Okay.
I think the normal payment's like $460.
Okay. Rounded up by 40, and anyone asks, you go, well, it's rounded up. Just round it up. Yeah.
Well, for a while I started paying a lot more. So there was a stretch where I was paying $750, then I was paying $1,000 a month.
Why'd you stop? Why? What changed your mind?
So I stopped that probably a few months before I was going to move last year. So I knew I would need some, additional capital for my move, and didn't know how that was all going to play out. So that's kind of at the point when I decided to scale back on that extra payment.
So yeah, you mentioned that your rent's gone up quite a bit. I assume that margin that you were using to pay extra on your student loans now has been eaten up with your increased rent payment?
Yeah, basically. Yep.
What's the car situation? 76, something like that, 7,600. What do you pay?
It's about $300. It's $292 a month.
Okay. And so you round it up to 300.
Yeah.
Okay. No crazy interest rate. You didn't buy it at a place that 20% interest rate. It's just like a normal interest rate on the car.
Yeah, that's 3.45%.
How old's the car?
It is a 2012.
Okay. And you're not upside down on it or anything like that. I mean, it's worth more than you owe, I assume.
No, yeah, it's definitely worth more than that.
Okay. So the main question is, I would think you're in that. At 33 years old, you were totally in that. Okay, I'm doing some things smart here. What should I actually be focused on? Do you feel completely unfocused right now?
I think sometimes I feel okay about what's going on, but yeah, there's other times I think my thoughts are kind of all over the place and kind of thinking and analyzing in too many areas. And so I think sometimes it tends to kind of stop me from acting on things because I'm thinking too much about it or analyzing too much.
You ever play golf, Pom Pom? You ever play into the golf?
I do play golf. Yeah.
Okay, so Pom Pom, I suck at golf, and I don't play anymore because I never see my kids if I were to play golf, which, based on how their friends treat me, seems like a pretty good idea. However, when I used to I took a golf lesson every once in a while because I sucked. And I remember the golf instructor going through the whole thing. He's like, all right, keep this leg straight and bend this and move the wrist and then you swing back. And as I'm swinging, it's not going well because I'm thinking about all of those things at once, right? It's just right. Chaos. Although you're doing a good job financially, I mean, so far so good. Nothing particularly scares me in your situation. I think the complete lack of focus based on paralysis of so many moving pieces is doing a disservice to your financial life. I think by the time we get off the call, I think I need you to focus on one thing until it's done and then move on. Are you willing to do that, Pom Pom?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, it's certainly, and I've noticed that too, and it's just hard sometimes to kind of get yourself out of that and snap out of that.
Sure. Okay, let's do this. So let's take a look at the future, right? 67 years old. Let's say you retired at age 67. But before that, let's actually figure out when you're going to be a millionaire. You will be a millionaire on May 1st. I believe they call that May Day. It's 2039. May 1st of 2039. Is May 1st May Day? Nicole, do you know that to be the truth? Pom Pom, do you know?
I actually have no idea.
Oh my gosh, Nicole looked that up. May 1st, 2039. So you're 33 now. That's what, 21 years from now? You'd be 54 years old and you'd be a millionaire. Thoughts? Steve, do you care? Does that matter? Is that what you thought?
I mean, I would hope. I wish it would be sooner, to be honest. But
well, I mean, if we take it a little further out to when you're 67, you will have $3.01 million. With a net monthly income of $7,000 a month. But after inflation, so basically in today's dollars, it will feel like that $7,000 will feel like $3,035 a month. Now, Pom Pom, earlier we took a look at what your take-home pay is right now, and it's $3,000 something, right?
yes.
So what we know right now, if you don't change a darn thing about your retirement planning, you will have essentially the same income available to you then that you have now, especially when we factor in Social Security. So I would go as far to say, and that's calculated at an 8% annual rate of return over the next 34 years. I will go as far to say, I feel like you've got retirement planning in the bag from a traditional retirement sense, which is 67 and older. Now what we can figure out is, do we start attacking shorter term goals, which can include retiring before age 67. So, we talk about trying not to spread your focus out. The way you do that is you start eliminating things that you've already taken care of. So, Pom Pom, you've already taken care of retirement. You just have to keep on keeping on. Does that help bring in the focus a little bit so far?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay. So now we're down to a couple things. It's, should I, what are we deciding between? Are we deciding between hammering away at your debt, your student loans versus car versus savings? Or are we trying to say, should you go harder on your Roth? Like, what's in front of us? What's the decision in front of us?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel good about what I'm contributing to my 403B currently.
Yeah, exactly. It gets you to what we just said. Like, ignore that now. Yeah. And your Roth too, by the way.
So, okay.
I mean, your Roth.
That's one of the things. I guess I keep questioning whether I should be putting more into my Roth, or because I'm only putting $1,200 in a year. So,
but it's going to result in $3 million when you're 67. So I don't care.
Right.
Like, if you wanted to back off the 403B a hair and then crank more to the Roth, that's fine. But I think in terms of assigning more dollars to the total retirement picture, I wouldn't do it at all right now.
Okay.
Like, really, like, in some, and I don't know what 403B you're rocking with, but in some respects, having a Roth IRA fully funded can make as much, if not more sense than putting your primary funding vehicle toward your Roth or toward your 403B. So I would just mix up how you're putting away that $900 a month for the future. Just maybe split it up a little better.
Okay.
It will change your tax situation, though, because that 403B is coming out
Sure.
pre-tax, and of course your Roth is post-tax.
Right.
How about, do you have an idea of what debt feels more important to you, the car or the student loans? I mean, do you have an idea or strategy there?
I mean, the student loans, obviously the principal's higher and the interest rate is higher. So, I mean, I guess I've tended to focus on the student loan debt more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of probably where I would shift, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different ways to go with it. You just have to go, whatever way you choose, you have to stick with. Like, I think your interest rate's higher on the student loans, and you would eventually free up a larger chunk of payment. You're only paying $300 something for the car, $500 because you rounded up on the student loan payment. So I would rather you probably attack that one, although it's against what I normally say, which is go after the lower balance. I think if you can handle the discipline of really going more aggressive towards the student loan, I would do that. I would even consider cranking up at a couple $100 extra bucks a month right now if you could.
Okay.
Could you do that, or is that unrealistic?
Yeah, I mean, if I made a couple changes, I'm sure I could. I mean, I'm trying to, get used to what my expenses look like since I've moved, and kind of trying to realize what a normal month looks like.
Yeah.
and certainly, as I can understand kind of what those areas of expenses are where I can kind of focus on and make sure I'm keeping them down. And so certainly there's probably areas where I could free up something like that. So.
What's a brother like you spend their money on? A single guy these days? What's a 33-year-old single guy? You play golf, right? You spend money on golf.
Yeah.
Like you play the games, the video games. Are you into the games?
No.
No, that's good. You like people.
Trying to do stuff that's. I mean, I've been doing some hiking, so that's been nice. So nothing where I have to spend money on.
You know who you can meet hiking? Serial killers, right?
No, that's.
Well, I'm just saying, generally, it's like a hiker was found. Like, that's what you hear. You don't hear, like, a golfer was found. Sorry.
No, that's a good point.
No, it's like hikers find the worst stuff. Or a local man. A local man found, don't ever be a local man. You find the craziest stuff in the world.
I've officially just canceled my hiking trip for this weekend now. So.
Do you have boots?
I do, yeah.
They got the Vibram soles on them?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think they do.
I mean, I know a little bit about everything. I guess so. You want to hear a little mountain climbing story? Back in 1997, my dad and I went to Bellingham, Washington to climb Mount Baker. It's like a 10,000-foot mountain. Turns out, Pom-Pom, I get altitude sickness still to this day pretty bad. But I didn't know about it until the summer of 1997, where when I hit about 8,500 feet, my entire body just kind of shuts down, and my dad has to drag me to the top of this mountain so we can get a picture of me and him on top of this mountain. It was a boys' trip, but it looks like I'm a character from Weekend at Bernie's. Like, he's just holding me up, and I'm like just conked out like Willie Lump Lump, and then we have to go down the mountain back to 8,500 feet, and I rejuvenate like Michael J. Fox in the picture in Back to the Future. You know, when it comes back and he's playing Earth Angel and he shoots back up. That was me on a mountain in 1997, and I had boots with Vibram soles.
There you go.
It's a true story.
Did he put a set of headphones on you?
Oh, yeah.
You move in there?
He had me waving at people. Okay. Like, yeah, I mean, it was really, I was doing the Bernie, just like on top of the mountain, celebrating the climate. Wait, not the climate, the summit. Anyway, Pom-Pom, what else are we working on? Anything else? I mean, we've really gone the full gamut of words. Anything else I can help you with?
I mean, I think those are the biggest things. I mean, I certainly sometime down the road want to, look at buying a house. I mean, It's not something that's immediately or even, not within the next couple of years. But, I mean, I think it's something I want to start thinking about in terms of, what that looks like in terms of saving and down payment and things like that. So that's something that's in the back of my mind. But again, that's my focus. It's all over the place.
Are you in one of the major cities out west, like a San Diego, LA, San Francisco area, or no?
Not that far out west.
Okay.
So not all the way to the West Coast.
Okay. So affordable housing in your area, or is it Denverish where not so much anymore?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
So here's what I would do. I would not even begin to consider home ownership until you have your student loan paid off. I mean, wouldn't even.
Okay.
Because it's just, you want to talk about another distraction. It's a distraction.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. I think you would make a great homeowner because you have boots and you have the propensity to save $25,000. Not a lot of 33-year-olds just have 25 GER sitting around. So I think you will make a good homeowner, even if you buy it at 40 and you get a 15 or 20-year mortgage. I mean, that's interesting. That would be a great plan. Like, bust your hump for the next 5 years or so to pay off the debt, which you could do pretty easily. And then for the next 2 or 3 years until you hit 40, the big 40, and you get male pattern baldness like me, you save for the down payment on the house, and then you let her rip, and then you buy one house. Like, the good news is you didn't hustle to try to buy a house in your 20s, and then you're like, well, I've owned 4 homes in my lifetime, and you have no equity, and you're sad.
Right.
Oh, man. I get excited.
Okay.
You ever go to the Bass Pro Shop there between the Denver airport and downtown Denver? You ever go to that place?
No, but I do want. I know where you're talking about because I want to go. I've been to the one in Memphis, Tennessee, actually, which is pretty incredible.
The pyramid?
But yes.
I have not been there
awesome.
yet. I know, it's supposed to be amazing.
It is incredible because you can go to the top, too. They take you this elevator. It's supposed to be one of the biggest elevators. And you go to the top, there's a restaurant up there, but then there's also an awesome lookout. It's really cool.
Pom Pom, I'm not going to do that. Do you know why?
Okay. What is that?
Altitude sickness. All right, Pom Pom.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Are you done? Are we good? Are we good, you and I?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely appreciate that. I mean, it's like I said, I know my focus is kind of all over the place. So,
well, you hone it in, dude.
I think that's
student loans.
In a lot of ways why I don't act.
Act. Student loans. Like, just dude, pick a date. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Pick a date. Say like August 16th of 2022. You're out of student loan debt, and then just work it backwards. It's just an arbitrary date. Pick anything. September 36th. I don't care. Just pick a date.
Sure.
And work backwards, because otherwise you won't be focused. Life is too good for you. It's too easy, Pom Pom. You got to crank it up.
Okay.
And don't let me read about you some hiker story. Just take it easy. You take a pocket knife or anything? You take like a file or anything?
Yeah. I got a pocket knife.
Could you handle yourself in a brawl? I mean, can you got hands?
Sure. Yeah.
I've never gotten a fight. I think I would tickle someone and then run.
I mean, I did when I was a kid. It's been a long time.
I'm a grown man now, and I still tickle. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go now. Pom Pom, best of luck to you. Keep us updated if you like, and best of luck with your hiking.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
My pleasure. If you want to be on the show, be on the show. We got a new policy here on the show. I think we're going to start giving people nicknames on the spot. I think that's the way to go. Nicole, do you have any problem with that if we just start giving people nicknames like on the spot?
No, I love it.
I kind of like it.
I kind of really like it.
But here's where it goes off the rails. Someone calls me up with like the world's saddest problem, and I start calling them Bingo Bongo.
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. Yeah, it just seems insincere if the person's like, well, my entire family died. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Zuzu.
There, Mr. Deedle.
You ever been to the Bass Pro Shop in any cities there, Frank?
Yeah, we went to one right outside of Pigeon Forge.
They're impressive, even if you're not a hill jack.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They really are. The size of them alone is impressive.
All right. That's it. That's it for the show this week. Be on the show, PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. We got an intern starting here in a couple months. Crank up. I'm going to try some different things on the show, so stay tuned. Oh, and if you would, leave us a review on iTunes, please. Just go on there. I mean, you can leave 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars. But just leave us 5 stars. And then a comment. Say something like, I love the fake names, or whatever. Or subscribe on YouTube, PeteThePlanner.tv. Subscribe. We need to increase the subscriber stuff. And you're thinking, I'm not going to do this, Peter. You called me Peter like you're my wife. Peter, I'm not doing this. But here's the problem, viewer and listener. I need you to do this. I give this to you for free every week. Where's the quid pro quo? I need you to review the show or subscribe to the show. That's what I need. That's what I need out of you. And look, if you're not going to do it, do not come back. No, you can come back. I'm fired up. And you know what I had for lunch today?
You had vegetables.
I had vegetables. That's it.
Pete.
All right, I'm done with this show. I'm going to stop talking. End the show.
If you want to be on this podcast and have Pete fix your money life, then hit us up at PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. You heard me. PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. Log on.
This is for information purposes only. It's not the Swiss financial planning device. Consult a financial advisor.
Released from Everest, the fresh is fresh, and you can call me E.T. Word to John Tesh. Let me bless this harmonic presentation. It's amazing, so amazing. I'm the reason. Salutations, I bring you love, drawing greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Love Tron can restore your health. I bring you greetings, salutations. How you doing? And is that how y'all say it? The tinkling of the keys is an homage to the little star. I sojourn over poetic descriptions of sound and travel to my other world. Out of this world, spaceship on my arm took me home, fueled by the ink and the megabytes and the hypertext transfer protocol, stronger than the Skynet and the Terminator. I push faders into warp speed, glide with ease, creating a breeze they call a black hole. Event horizon, no rear view concerns. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. Salutations, I bring you love-tron greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Love-tron can restore your health. I bring you greetings, salutations. How you doing? And is that how y'all say it?